So, hi Florentina, thank you so much for having us. We're Garment Research, a small independent media made for and by fashion professionals. Okay, so great show. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So much. We mostly focus on the way the collections are made and on the creative process behind them, not and on the people who work on the collections.
Yeah.
So my first question is, your collections often have this like dream-like, almost kind of fairy tale-like quality. I'm curious where that kind of sensibility comes from. Is it from your childhood? From like, where do you take your inspirations from?
I think every season we try to get inspired by like a different type of girl. But indeed, she's always very like fairy-like. She likes color, she likes glitter. And I grew up in nature, so I think there's also always these details of flowers which are coming back in my collections. And indeed, this season it was very dreamy because we were inspired by a sleepover scene from a movie called The Princess Diaries.
Ah, yes.
And that's why you also saw those little crowns on our models.
Yes, and we can see it on your mood board actually.
And Hathaway on our mood board. And then we were also inspired by actually our own garments a bit and wanted to repeat things which we really liked ourselves. Mm-hmm. So you also see a few of our details from like last fall winter show.
Yeah.
Like the puffy flowers, this is something which is really now signature Florentina and we try to repeat. And another inspiration was Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City.
Ooh,
that's why you see her running in kind of her pyjama, but then like having a layered coat over, having her pearl necklace, and running on New Year's Eve to Miranda, her friend. So that's also why we had all these phone calls, because it's like you're kind of like lonely, you're like in your bed, you want to call a friend, you want to call your boyfriend, and then you're just like running outside in the cold with your pyjama, with your crown on, and you're meeting friends and reach for the stars. It's also a lot about like fulfilling dreams, and
actually that makes me come to my second question. So some designers are very drawn to kind of astrology or kind of mythical symbolism. Is it also something that resonates with you kind of creatively?
Yes, well, it was just my birthday, the 6th of March. I just
turned
30.
Oh, congratulations.
And I'm a Pisces.
Happy birthday.
And I think Pisces girls or boys, they're very like dreamy in general.
Yes.
And my mom is super into astrology.
Oh my God.
So yeah, definitely. It's definitely something that inspires me. And I love like to dream and daydream and
Oh my God. It was also my birthday last week.
Oh,
so
really?
Pisces,
Congrats.
Congrats. Yes, Pisces too. So another question of mine is more about your clients. Your designs have already been worn by K-pop icons and artists like Illit, notably, and your brand has a growing kind of presence in Asia. We can see that. So I'm kind of curious, are you personally a K-pop fan? And if so, is there an artist or a group you would love to dress one day?
Well, to be honest, I kind of discovered K-pop through the girls which wore my clothes, and I was not too familiar with it. I think the first group was New Jeans, which discovered the brand, and they were then also becoming more and more popular in Europe, so I was definitely a fan of their music. I think my boyfriend even more. He's still like a K-pop stan, like a New Jeans stan. But I'm always discovering like new artists, like IVE. I actually also really like the music, and we already made some custom outfits for Liso from IVE, from the group. And I think I still need to discover the boy bands a bit more, which I will do maybe after Fashion Week. But now I'm kind of discovering like when I see girls like wearing the garments and I'm checking out the music, and mostly it's quite cool. So it's interesting to discover something through my creations.
Definitely, My other question is that, so in many interviews, you kind of questioned where the world really needs more fashion right now. Is it a sustainability concern? And how do you kind of answer this question to yourself when you're in the studio?
Yes, I mean, it's definitely a question I have. I think like also a lot of like media is kind of like asking this question. And then you're reading it and you're like, oh my God, why am I even creating a new collection? It's kind of like dark and people have so much to choose, and there's so many options also on the calendar, like we're one of many. But then I was also having this talk with my team member Max, and I think it's still super important to reach for your dreams, to reach for your stars, and that's also why we titled this collection you're a star, because I want to give something positive. And sometimes like all these things you're reading, and like if you're overthinking, then you could just stop doing whatever you're doing. I think it's still important to create and to have fun, and I love doing a show and like see people and give them like a good a good feeling after the show.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Of course there's a lot already of in fashion, and collections are getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But it's also why we actually tried to have a bit of a smaller collection this season. We did 26 looks. We had every model change into another look, which is very stressful, but it's not easy to be part of Fashion Week and to really sustain to have a runway show. So I think it's super important for young creatives to still try and reach for your stars and fulfill your dreams.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple more questions.
Yes,
and
of
then we're
course.
done. So, when you begin developing a new collection,
Yeah.
what's usually the first thing in appears? Is it an image? Is it a fabric? Like, what's the first thing that?
I think it's always changing. So sometimes we have a fabric which we already start like developing some styles with. But other times I see like a movie or listen to a song or see an image and base kind of like on those pieces my characters. But I think it's really a story we're telling while going, and it's not like there from the beginning. Sometimes it's really evolving into something completely different, the more we make and create and work in the studio. And also then have our stylist coming over. Carrie was behind me. So I think it's like really like this teamwork which makes also the story we're telling every season.
And we see that you get a lot of inspiration from like movies and cinema in general.
Yeah, when I was younger I always said I will become a movie director, but then I decided to study fashion. And I think what's interesting about fashion is that you kind of can also create your movies, create your photo shoot, create your shows, your moments and your characters. And I like to direct a story.
That's so cool. And so actually about studying, how did studying at the Antwerp Academy kind of shape your way of thinking about fashion in general?
I learned that it's not always easy. It's very stressful studies, and I think it prepared me really well. But I don't know, I just like started to love it more and more and more when I was like able to really create something I was happy with. And I think the academy really pushes you to show something that's very you. And it's a lot of hit and miss. Sometimes it's not good, and sometimes it's suddenly good, and you're super proud of yourself. And
And my last question is about, so you often work with kind of dad stock fabrics and smaller production networks. And so does that affect kind of how you design your collection? So have there been moments, for example, when the material kind of changed the direction?
Yes, actually it does, because you only have that much meters, and you cannot produce like a 50 or 10 meters dress with like drapey fabrics. You need to kind of like be resourceful and creative, but I also like that about it. It's like the struggles which make it also really interesting. And
Do you have a favorite material to work with? Is there a material you keep coming back to?
Lately it's like heavy fleece, which I wear myself also a lot. You saw some jogging and sweat pieces, and I don't know, I think especially for winter it's nice to hibernate a bit and have like a cool fit on and like go out in jogging pants, but then like have a sequin dress over it.
Great. And my last question is, if you could describe your label in 3 words, what would the words be actually?
Feminine, fun, and floral.
Amazing. 3 Fs.
The 3 Fs. Florentina.
Florentina, exactly. The 4th one.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was